If you're wondering what life will look like when you're old, this is what 67 looks like. This is the dongle. I already hate this fucking thing. I fucking hate it. It's complicated. I can't figure out how to use it. I'm gonna have to read. I've already had to spend too much time. I should have just been able to plug this in and use it, but no. It's fucking complicated. I gotta use the Mimo app. It's gotta connect. Then there's all these switches and bullshit. I can't use it without reading these fucking instructions, which I haven't taken the time to read. I don't have time for this shit. It's got switches on it. There's like 3 toggles. There's a power button here that also pairs it somehow. There's a USB that can connect to outgoing speakers. It's complicated. I don't have time for that this morning. So I am going to use this. This is simple. You plug it in and it works. That's it. There is one button here for noise reduction. I never use it. It's 9:28 a.m. What is it? Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. It's already 76 degrees, going up to like 90 or so today. Oh, it's going up to 90. Low of 59, which is good. I'm using the Lark M2 mic. I have noise canceling on for once. I usually don't use it with noise canceling, but I noticed the mic picks up a lot of my breathing and my water bottle flopping around, and my keys flopping around. So I thought I'd try this out. My breathing is really a problem with audio because I have a deviated septum and I have these messed up sinuses which kind of clog my air passages. And also, I smoked for like 30 years, maybe more. I haven't smoked for 30 years now, about. But damage is done. So I'm Jim. I'm 67 years old. Welcome to the channel. I probably won't post this video. I have a problem posting videos because I find it too time consuming and I've got too many other distractions, too many things that take priority over me making videos. The only reason I'm making this video now is because I'm out here alone. I guess you could say I'm a lonely old man, except the fact that I'm a loner, so I'm not lonely. This is my perfect element. And look what I'm enjoying this morning. Well, as I said, we're in the middle of a brutal heat wave. And I live in a room. I do everything in the room to save money. I rent a room from a private family. And in there, I have my gym, I have my office, and I have my bedroom. Everything's in there. I could spend the whole day in there and almost never come out. You can hear the military jets over at the Marine base in the distance. It's just an odd position of this idyllic suburban neighborhood, which was created on what this was an old firing range. The sun is super strong already. The air is still pretty cool in the shadows. Besides the brutal heat wave, I'm battling horrific weight gain, as you can see right here, which is kind of a secondary battle because the first battle is a horrible diet. So this is what 67 looks like. If you're wondering what life will look like when you're old, it's 67 years old, which most young people younger than 67 consider old. I don't consider it old. I waited too long to get out here this morning. It is really getting hot out here. But one of the most important things for me is to get my steps in. And while 67 for me is, going to be different for other people, because especially by the time you get to this point in life, our lives diverge a lot. So 67 for me looks totally different than 67 for somebody else. And 67 for me looks totally different from what the retirement planners were telling me all my life. So I have to get out here early these days during this heat wave to try to get my steps in. I go for 10,000 steps a day for a baseline. And this place is a total gift that I can just roll out of bed, walk a couple of doors, and I'm here in this canyon. Now, does that mean when you're 67 years old, you're going to have a canyon like this to walk around in? I really don't know. This is pretty good. I don't see how this could even be the average, but I couldn't afford this. I mean, did I work hard? Did I save my money? Did I make a lot of money to finally end up on this trail? No. This is all grace. This place was totally unexpected. I didn't know about this place. I didn't plan this. I just ended up here. So what did I do maybe that might have resulted in this? I mean, I don't know if there's a cause and effect here. It might just be complete happenstance. Because I did a lot of things wrong. I mean, there's also a good argument for me to be in hell instead of in heaven right now. But I'd say what comes to mind is the best things that I ever did was I helped other people, especially a couple of older people that I helped, and I helped usher them off the planet by just caring for them. And then I just happened to be there when they passed away, which kind of made me think about my own mortality. It's kind of funny, like after they passed away, I still feel their presence in my life. When you're older, a lot of times there's a number of people who they resent you because you're older. There is a hummingbird here. I'm trying to get a shot of it, and it's so hard to get a shot of these things. I was talking about what I was talking about, and then I came here, and there's a hummingbird flying around here. I guess he lives here now. It's like a baby. I just discovered him yesterday. I actually think I got a good shot of him. It's very hard to get a shot of these hummingbirds because they just move around like nature's little drones. And if only the U.S. military could attach explosive devices to them. Bad joke. But the last person I took care of was my mom, and that's how I ended up here, actually. And so I pay attention to coincidences, and that's, to me, is a coincidence because she had a hummingbird feeder in her back porch patio area of her senior apartment, where I spent like the last year and a half of her life with her. I was working remotely from there and taking care of her, and working remotely for a company back in New York where I used to live till I came out here to take care of my mom. And there was this hummingbird feeder. I didn't know anything about hummingbirds, but I was my desk was right by a window that looked out on the patio, and I would hear these like little motors running. I'd be like, "What the hell is that?" It sounds like a huge bug. And finally, I realized it was these hummingbirds. I saw them, and I just became fascinated with them. And eventually, after my mom passed away, I found this beautiful wooden urn with a hummingbird carved on it. And so we put her ashes in there. And one of the ways I still feel her presence after she passed away is when I see a hummingbird. But especially when a hummingbird like that comes and just checks me out. That hummingbird spent a lot of time looking at me and checking me out. I mean, it could be the white shirt. He's like thinking, wow, there's a big flower. But I pay attention to coincidences, and I feel a loving presence in my life. And I mean, there's a lot of coincidences. Sometimes numbers coming in threes, just odd coincidences. It just kind of makes me feel like all of this is just it's just some kind of illusion. I mean, right in this part here is a beautiful illusion. But for other people right now, especially, it is a brutal illusion. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to compare. I'm just trying to share that this is where I find myself. And if I found myself in a brutal illusion, I would try to share also. So another one of my battles today, my personal battles, is low energy. I know what the culprit is. The culprit is food. So I have upped my exercise. That's why I'm making it a priority first thing in the morning to get out here and get my steps in. And even, you know, as beautiful as this is, I have a hard time because the first thing I want to do when I get up in the morning is make myself a cafe mocha. For a while, I was addicted to getting venti mochachinos at Starbucks at like, I think they're like $6 or $7 a pop now. So then I was like, well, I'm addicted to them and I can't stop doing that. So what I'll do is I'll make them at home. So I started making them at home, and you know what? Having that first thing in the morning with all that sugar and cocoa and coffee is a gateway to just poor eating during the rest of the day. Just you get up, fuck up your blood sugar, and then gain a few pounds during the day. So this morning I weighed myself. I'm up to like 215, 216, this is the weight where I start to take naps in the afternoon. I start to lose my energy. This is like pre-diabetic weight for me, if I'm not already type 2 diabetic. And it perpetuates itself. It turns into like this self-destruction cycle because your blood sugar gets low and then you crave sugar. So like, especially in the afternoon, I'll, like yesterday, I just couldn't resist. What did I eat yesterday? Frozen yogurt. I went out for frozen yogurt. I had chocolate, I had tart, which I love, and I had vanilla, and I put Oreo crumbles on the chocolate. Yesterday was not a total loss because I managed to have the will not to drink coffee. I didn't drink coffee all day yesterday, so I think coffee is a gateway to a poor diet. In my case, it's a theory I have based on my experience. And then I waited to have something to eat. I basically fasted in the morning. So that's some small changes I've been trying to make. This is going to be really beautiful in the next few days. And then it will just turn to like these barren sticks. But for a moment, it'll be beautiful. So the problem starts with me not having saved enough when I was younger. I did not save enough, but I earned more than most in the years that I did work. And so I have a decent Social Security check every month. But I live beyond my means. And the primary reason I live beyond my means is I have a kid, she's 20, and her mother. And in New York, where I'm from, you are legally required to pay child support until the child is 21. And then even still, you have to petition the court to release you. As a non-custodial father, I fought for custody and won. However, I was accused of a number of things and thrown in jail and thrown in court. And I eventually just was so busy with legal issues I couldn't make any money. But I fought to stay in my daughter's life, and I invested in the relationship, and I support them according to more according to their needs than the child support order. I pay way above the child support order, but I'm running out of money, and I thought, my plan was to go back to work. I got laid off at 64. And I thought, well, I'll take 6 months off and then I'll get back to work. Well, it's been over 2.5 years now. And now I want to get back to work, but I ran into an issue with my energy where I couldn't hang for the entire day. I would just get tired, really tired and sleepy in the afternoon. And then at night have trouble sleeping. So that's a problem. I can't work if I don't have energy to make it through the whole day, focus and energy. I have a new theory. I'm going to treat this food addiction. I have a food addiction. So I'll go out to McDonald's. I'll go out, I get a chocolate shake. I'll eat Chicago pizza as entertainment. And then next thing I know, I'm sleeping for 2 or 3 hours. And there is a cost to eating like that. There's the energy cost, which means I can't make as much money as I otherwise would. At McDonald's the other day was like $16. And then I ate a salad yesterday. It was also like $16-17. And then frozen yogurt, that was like $16 or so. This is the sign. This place was originally Camp Elliott, where during World War II, they blew up ordnances here. And now it's this beautiful, idyllic, suburban oasis. But that's just for now. This too shall pass. There's a room I was telling you about earlier on the trail. So I haven't even bothered to clean it up yet. I got to get it clean before it gets hot in here. I got the shades down to keep the sun out. It's still pretty cool in here. It's hot out there. So I have to gonna continue getting ready. Continue trying not to eat. And one of the ways I am going to try to delay eating is by feeding my gut biome, which eats fiber. This is Yerba Prima probiotic colon care formula. It's basically psyllium husks. It's psyllium seed husks, gluten-free oat bran, non-GMO soy fiber, acacia gum, calcium carbonate, FTS probiotic, growth complex, magnesium oxide, apple fiber, selenium, amino acid, chelate. Now, that's a lot of ingredients. I don't recall it having that many ingredients. I've heard it said that anything with more than 3 ingredients you should avoid. But I've been using this for, I think, like 20 years. And I don't know if they changed the ingredients. I know Andrew Huberman, I heard, as I recall, Andrew Huberman bought the company, which I don't trust. Also, I'm going to have a splash of Bragg's Organic Apple Cider Vinegar. I'm going to put in about, I guess that's about a cup of water. Just give it a splash. Then this, I think I'm going to do about 3 teaspoons of this. Shake it up. How does this stop? Part. I'm going to cut to the end. Okay, I finished it. I'm just getting used to that's the Samsung S26 Ultra. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. It has this thing where if you hold your hand like this, it automatically starts, but there's a delay, which I didn't know about. So I was starting it up, and then I would start talking, and it still hadn't turned on yet because I saw a counter on the screen. So, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I don't know how to stop it. I know how to start it, but I don't know how to stop recording. No, I can do that with my DJI Action 5. Okay, so if I say record video, or if I show my hand like this thing will start recording, but there's a 3-second delay. I don't know how to get rid of the 3-second delay. I guess I got to do more work and go back into try to find that. However, I see no way to stop it other than to just physically stop it. Okay, so now it's time to clean up the room. The reason why I wanted to talk about food some more, about the cost of junk food, right? The cost of, eating, I am a recovering alcoholic. So I haven't drank since 1996. But one of the things that the basic ways we stopped drinking was, the way I was taught to not drink was, don't drink, go to meetings. There you go. So when I try to apply that to food, my food addiction, I have to eat. So I'm thinking, all right, I mean, for decades I was thinking, well, I have to eat, so it's not the same thing. But the fact is, it does seem, perhaps it is the same thing, because when you say don't drink, go to meetings, it's not like you're not drinking water or fluids or anything. In fact, for getting sober, we drank a lot of coffee and we drank milkshakes, and I think maybe that's a lot of where the food addiction, is, I've had that my whole life. That's a long, interesting story that I don't have time to get into right now. But but basically in the recovery, we were going out for fellowship and having burgers and fries and chocolate shakes, and there you go. So I've got this thing on a Hohem gimbal, and it's following me around. And so if you give the Hohem gimbal a OK sign, then it follows you. And so anyway, so we were doing a lot of chocolate shakes and stuff. So alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. So you're basically pivoting the addiction from alcohol to food. And that's okay if your goal is just to stop drinking. But in the long run, it's not entirely sober, I would say, depending on your definition of sobriety. I mean, I'm not doing drugs. I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking. But I still have a problem with food. I gained a lot of weight. And we used to have a saying in AA that you have to go to any lengths and widths. So I am struggling now, but it's become serious. The food issue has become serious because I am finding myself like sleeping in the afternoons at 67 years old when I don't have enough money saved to do that. I mean, personally, if it was just me, I would have enough money saved. But it's not just me. So, try to get this thing going again. It loses me when I cross the plane of the camera. There you go, found me again. So, it is just like drinking. It's just like drinking. In fact, it is a continuation and is a later phase of getting sober. Because food is, you have to eat, but you don't have to eat McDonald's. McDonald's is like, for me right now, at 67 years old, for me, pre-diabetic, it's like going to a bar. So, going out and hiking in the canyon, that's like going to a meeting. Except I'm alone. I'm alone with this. I couldn't stop drinking alone. So I don't know if I can do this food thing alone. I've tried reaching out to my healthcare provider, and they don't help. I mean, they have a lot of materials and opinions and stuff, and I don't know, man. I don't necessarily trust the big medical industry because they have these big, expensive institutions that they have to feed, and all these expensive employees that they have to feed everybody. So, are they always going to do the right thing? I don't know about that. So, for the food, there's a cost. It's a cost to my health and my wealth, right? So it's all kind of tied together. If I can't function, I can't earn. And if I can't earn, then I'm going to be poorer, put it mildly. And in addition, $16 for a fucking McDonald's meal, or $16 for a frozen yogurt dessert. I spent like over $32 yesterday on food. And you know, with this heat wave, it's very hot in here. This is not really working too well. I like to show my work. That's why I got the camera in the way there. So with this heat wave, so the point of this room is it's cheap, right? I got my office over here. Let's see if I can I stop this? I think I stopped it. Okay, so I got my office over here. I got my gym over here. I mean, it's basically scattered throughout the whole place. I got my bedroom over here. So it's basically my whole life in this one room at 67. And you think, some people might think that's sad. I don't. I think it's really cool. Nice and simple. I would like to get even smaller than this. But so there's a cost to this heat wave too, right? So if I want to function in this room, I was having trouble focusing. I was having trouble not eating, emotionally eating. So I got out of the room. I went, I walked, I hiked to the local library to get out of the heat. The library is air conditioned. In fact, it's so freaking cold there in this one seat that I like to sit at that I have to wear a jacket and a hat because the AC blows down on that seat. So where was I? You know, this is a terrible meandering video, but I don't care. It's all I can make right now. I can't edit, so I don't have the time. So to escape the heat and still try to be productive, I walked to the local library, which gets my steps in, right? So I'm all throughout the day, I'm working on my steps. I'm parking far away from the door at the furthest part of the parking lot. I am walking instead of driving. That also saves money, saves on gas. And gas is at record highs right now, thanks to the war in Iran. And so I save money. I walk over to the library. It's Monday. There's a heat wave. I bring my computer, and the library's closed on Mondays. I'm like, I never thought that the library would be closed on a Monday, but I should have checked. So there was one library open. It was the Love Library at University of California at San Diego, which I have really never been to, and so I drove over there. I used a lot of gas, and it was cool. I mean, what a very cool experience. I mean, everybody. So I have a daughter. She's college age. She's going to be a senior next year, so she's probably older than a lot of those kids. Well, she's about the same age, but on the older end of the range now. My baby, and she goes to NYU. She doesn't go there. She got accepted there, but it was because she's out of state. It was really expensive, and she got a full scholarship to NYU. So, I mean, we couldn't afford to send her to University of San Diego, but that school is fucking cool, very cool. And there was all the atmosphere was really, really great in that library because it's cool. It's a huge library. There's all these different places you can go, and but it took a lot of time to get there. It took a lot of time I got lost on campus. Campus is very confusing. But this thing looks tilted. I guess that's tilted. Campus is very confusing. So I couldn't find parking. It's just very crowded. The traffic over there is very crowded. Just getting over there, it's dangerous, expensive. But it was a great experience, and the campus is really very, very cool, very super cool campus. So I went on Tuesday because I was like, well, I like the way I concentrated. I just, because I don't know, something about getting out of my environment and going over there enabled me to concentrate, and I got some stuff done the last 2 days, even though it's brutally hot out. And, but it was too expensive. In the last 2 days, I must have burned about maybe a half a tank of gas, and spent, I don't know, $35 a day on food. I don't know what I spent. I did well in the morning when I didn't have coffee, and I delayed my breakfast. But later in the afternoon, I just got a desire to eat. Now, I was down to 185 pounds in 2024, and I did that by fasting. So I'm desperate to get rid of this belly. I'm not Ozempic desperate. I would never want to go with that Ozempic stuff. I see a lot of people. See, I'm not the only one with this problem, especially older people and young people who are heavy. So they've got me tethered to the pharmaceutical industry now. That's another story. A lot of older people are very desperate to lose weight. I mean, just not only for aesthetic reasons, but for health reasons. So I don't want to use medicine to do it. It's the problem is lifestyle. So it's basically food and exercise. But the food part's tricky because there's a lot of programming in there for me. There's emotional eating, there's stress eating, there's the way I grew up relating to food, the way I learned to relate to food, the things I was fed as a child, which were influenced by the industry, by television, by advertising to my mother, advertising to me, by what everybody else around me was eating, because they were all influenced by the propaganda too. So it's tricky. It's a tricky problem, but I think the first thing for me is to pay attention to how I feel and how I'm impacted by food. And one of the things I noticed is I'm impacted physically because I don't want to sleep after I eat these crappy carb-loaded, sugary meals with jacked up palatability, and it's just it's an emergency, and it's what's motivating me right now is I got to get back to making money, but I got to find a way to do it that's not going to kill me, and I got to find the energy to do it. So I'm working on the energy part right now. Okay, I think I've said way too much, and that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, God bless you.